So I have over 100 platinum trophies currently, and a fair bit of them are ultra rares. In that case, I would classify myself as an experienced trophy hunter at this point. And since I have come a long way, I felt it would be a good idea to go over and rank my first 50 platinum trophies. So how I'm going to be ranking these is I'm going to rank it based off of the overall experience I felt going for these platinum trophies. And also, don't take this list too hard. This is my personal preference. If you like a particular game that you think is a must play, that's fine. It's just my personal preference. So for the must play category, basically any game that gets put in there is what I think every trophy hunter should have on their list. Like, it's a S tier top game. Like, every trophy hunter should have the games that's in that category. And then we got Good Choice, which basically it's not a must-have, but it's a really good choice to have on your list. Then we got Decent, which is like, it's okay. Manageable, the game, kinda, it's not particularly good, but it's still manageable to play through and, I guess, get the platinum. And then we got Pain and Suffering, which is like the overall experience is just pain and you just want to get it done, or even worse, like you can't even get it done. You're just thinking like, I don't know if I can do it. I might have to put this game away, not get the platinum, that sort of experience. And so the first game we have is Assassin's Creed 2. Now, my experience with this, the story was pretty good. I will say that. The story was good. It took me a while to get the combat down and understand it. And I will say the parkour was a bit wonky. It's a bit janky. I had instances where I was just jumping off the building or, like jumping backwards instead of like jumping up or something. That sort of thing makes the parkour a bit wonky. But what I think for that, it's a good choice. I think Assassin's Creed 2 is a good choice. It's not particularly great. It has its flaws, but the majority of it is good. And then next we have is Astro's Playroom. Now, Astro's Playroom, for me personally, I think it's a must play. Because basically for anyone that's like a PlayStation gamer like I was with like the PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, the whole experience was just nostalgic, just full of nostalgia to me. And I was just so amazed by playing through that game. And like the gameplay and all that stuff was still fairly good. It was enjoyable as well. And there was like little references as well. And with that, I think it's, if you have a PS5, I would highly recommend and you check out that game. Okay, and then next we have Days Gone. Days Gone. What can I say about Days Gone? It's, the story to it was interesting. It wasn't a fascinating story. It was kind of like, it was decent. The gameplay was kind of good. It was not bad. Going for the platinum trophy was kind of okay. I think I might have to put this in decent. And just to quickly go back and like go through and like talk about my experience with Assassin's Creed 2 and Astro's Playroom for the platinum. Assassin's Creed 2, it was fairly straightforward. There were some missions in there that was a little bit of a pain. From what I recall, nothing was too difficult. And Astro's Playroom was fairly easy and straightforward. There's the trophy list is pretty easy and straightforward for that as well. And as for Days Gone, it's a bit tedious. I can definitely see that. So up next I see is DC Universe Online. Now for this game, it's immediately going into Pain and Suffering for multiple reasons. For one, you have to buy a overly priced subscription to be able to get the trophies. 2, you have to play 6 different playthroughs. 3 for villains and 3 for heroes. So with that, I have to put DC Universe Online into Pain and Suffering, also known as not worth it. Do not go for that trophy list. It's just awful. So up next is Destroy All Humans 2. Now this isn't the remastered, or as it's called, the reprobed version. This is the, I guess, the port or the original. Now this is difficult because I grew up with Destroy All Humans 2. I didn't play Destroy All Humans 1 all that much, but I grew up playing mainly the second one, and I loved it. And playing through it again for the trophies, honestly, I didn't find it that bad, actually. It's basically like doing everything in the game and like essentially 100%ing it. You know, like getting all the collectibles, doing all the DNA stuff, doing the story, all that stuff. There's no like doing ridiculous amount of stuff. It's like a fairly simple trophy list. And for that, see, I want to put it in good choice because of the nostalgic purposes of it playing through my childhood. But for most people, I would say it's decent. But for me personally, because I grew up with it, I would have to put it in good choice. So up next we have the Division, the first Division. Now, I have mixed feelings with this game. First and foremost, just a mind-numbing experience, like overall. And on top of that, there was like an absurd amount of collectibles. Like, we're talking like probably around 200. We're talking like GTA 4 getting all the pigeons type amount of collectibles. There was just so much. And there is trophies regarding to not specifically PvP, but it's like a PvP zone. So it's not like you get straight up in combat with another player, but it is possible. It's like a PvP free area, and like you can activate PvP yourself and like attack other players while they're doing stuff in that zone. And it's just like, yeah, I didn't like doing that Dark Zone stuff. So I think for the Division, I'm gonna have to put it in. Oh, I don't know. Manageable, I think. It wasn't purely Pain and Suffering like I felt with DC Universe Online, but it's kind of close to it. So next we got is Don't Knock Twice. Now, this game, all I can say is it's a horror game. So, yeah, there's that. And for the trophy list, I'm trying to remember what the trophy list was like. I don't think it was that bad, actually. I think it was also pretty straightforward. Let me actually double check myself here. Okay, yeah, so the trophy list for this game, you have to get all the collectibles, and there's like a bunch of like miscellaneous stuff, like do this particular thing, do that particular thing. It's a whole bunch of miscellaneous stuff, and there is stuff regarding like story stuff, I think, as well. But I think for me personally, I would have to say it might have to go in decent. I think decent is a good choice for this, because I wasn't like, I don't think I was suffering trying to do Don't Knock Twice compared to like The Division or DC Universe Online. Alright, so up next we have is Donut County. This game kind of surprised me. It's like a very short game. Like it doesn't take you that long to platinum, and from my experience with it, it was fairly simple. It was a chill, kind of a nice experience. I have to think this is also decent as well. And then, I recently just did this one. Up next we have is Dreams. Dreams. Oh boy. Dreams took me so long to do. Like, an absurd amount of time to do. I think I might have to put it in pain and suffering, actually. This was just unbearable. All the trophies, like everything, like there was just so much stuff. There was like a good, like, I want to say like 5 or 7 trophies alone where you had to do like probably like 4 hours just to get one of the trophies. You have to get to tier 3 in different things. So that's either like liking people's stuff or like doing various things in the create mode, and you have to work your way up in the tiers. So it starts small with like, I don't know, a half an hour, then it bumps it up to like an hour, and then like the third stage where you get the trophy is like 2 hours. So it's like you're spending like nearly 4 hours just to get one trophy, and there's 7 of those. So you can do the math. 4 times 7, or how many trophies there was. It's a lot of time. And trying to get to level 30 even took way more time. And so with that, I think I have to put this in pain and suffering. That experience was just... It wasn't necessarily difficult. It just took so long to do. And I even think like the trophy guide for this even says like doesn't take hardly any time at all. Trophy guy says it'll take 50 hours. I highly doubt that. When I was trying to get to level 30, it took me like 6 streams to just get to level 30. And I spent like a lot of hours in those streams just doing that, I think. And yeah, and with that said about dreams, I think pain and suffering is a good spot for me. Alright, so up next is Fallout 4. Now, for Fallout 4, I genuinely enjoyed it. I've heard that people didn't really enjoy it as much, but I think it was a pretty decent game. Like, I enjoyed the experience of Fallout 4. I want to say the trophy guide for Fallout 4 was not that bad. There's a lot of story stuff. Oh, yes, okay. So, like, you would have to do all the different endings. But, like, that's not really that big of a deal, because, like, you can make a save beforehand when you do one of the endings and, like, go back to that save and do the other endings. That way you don't have to play through the entire game again. Everything else, it wasn't that bad, honestly. I didn't have much trouble doing any of the other trophies. Yeah, everything else is kind of straightforward. The only thing is, like, the different endings. For me, personally, this one also kind of varies for different people, but I think, for me, I think it's a good choice. Okay, so up next we have is Far Cry New Dawn. Now, first thing I just want to say is I wish I played and platted Far Cry 5 before I did New Dawn, because I feel like that would have been just a much better experience. But I did New Dawn first, and I started Far Cry 5. I have to go back to that one of these days. And New Dawn is the aftermath. It basically takes place after Far Cry 5. And my experience with it was actually pretty good. It was not too bad. The story I found was a little short, and the trophy list, it was alright. There was some things that was a bit difficult. And there was one thing I struggled with doing, and it was trying to get, the 10 Wraith kills in a single instance of the Wraith or something like that. I was struggling so much trying to do that, and I remember getting frustrated trying to do it. I think I might have to put that in decent. I still fairly enjoyed the game. I didn't, like, suffered trying to do it as, like, some of these other games. And so the next game we have is Final Fantasy VII Remake. This game was pretty good. It was phenomenal. The only thing I have to say that was challenging was like 1 or 2 trophies. One of them being trying to even get to Pride and Joy. You have to defeat Pride and Joy, but just trying to get to Pride and Joy was the challenge. And basically, you had to go through a gauntlet of multiple bosses. I think it's like 4 or 5 bosses. So basically, you have to beat a boss and then like instantly go to the next boss and like keep going down the line. It is until I got to Bahamut. Trying to get past Bahamut was the challenging part of that. It took me so many tries just trying to get past Bahamut to get to Pride and Joy, which was after Bahamut. Bahamut killed so many of my runs trying to get that particular trophy in itself. But other than that, the rest was pretty amazing. I enjoyed the experience of that. And I think even though the experience with Bahamut, for me personally, I think I would have to say that it is... I think it's a good choice, actually. I know it's a bit of a struggle, but the experience of that, of finally getting to Pride and Joy and beating Pride and Joy was like, that was like one of the best moments in my gaming or streaming career, like by far. Pushing through and getting to that point and doing it made me feel so good. But yeah, despite that challenging bit in Final Fantasy VII Remake, I still think that game is a good choice. So up next we have is Goat Simulator. The majority of the trophy list is fairly simple, but there is one trophy for Goat Simulator that's just, it still troubles me to this day. And like, it traumatizes me. And that is the Flappy Goat trophy. Trying to get 10 points or 10 score or whatever it is in the Flappy Goat minigame. That minigame was just, it was unbearable. It's so difficult. I've had trouble trying to get that trophy for a while. Yeah, don't get me wrong, like Goat Simulator is fun, but that one trophy is what could potentially push trophy hunters away. It's just so frustrating and it's so difficult. It's unforgiving. I think with the fact that I tried it before when I got the majority of the trophies and then I like stopped because of this trophy, and I came back like years later and tried to get the Flappy Goat trophy and get the platinum like years later, I think I might have to put this in manageable because of that fact. And I'm actually curious, how long did it take me to actually come back to this game? So I got the majority of the other trophies in 2020, and I came back in December 2022. So it took me like around 2 years to come back to Goat Simulator and try and get that trophy. So yeah, I think I might have to put Goat Simulator in manageable because of that. So up next we have is what I made my 50th platinum to be, and that is GTA 4. Now, it's hard to say what my experience was because I was kind of on and off with this game over the years. I played this like way back when it was like, when it just released, and I got some of the trophies then. I left. I didn't touch it for a bit. I came back, did a little bit more stuff. I don't know how many times I've done that, but I recently just came back to do the online stuff with a group of people, which was Daco Bell, JFL Leon, and Left 4 Junkie. I will put their links in the description to give them a shout out because I did do the online stuff with them. Without their help, I don't think I would have been able to get GTA 4 Platinum. Like, I don't know how I would have been able to do GTA 4 with the online stuff. Like, I don't know how I would have been able to do it. And like after I got that done, just do the rest of the stuff I need to do for single player, and that was it. So like my experience overall mainly basis on the online and some of the single player. The online took a long time. The majority of it is just grind. The only difficult part about online is doing the fly the co-op, which you have to do the 3 heists or missions or whatever, which is Hangman's Noose, Bomb the Base, and I don't know what the third one is, but there's 3 of them. And you have to do them in a certain time limit. And the time limit is very strict. There is hardly any wiggle room for mess ups. You have to be like almost on point. But yeah, besides that stuff for online with the fly the co-op and the rest of the stuff taking a long time to do, there are some things that's difficult with single player, like the chain reaction where you gotta blow up 10 cars in like 10 seconds. That was pretty difficult to do. And I want to say doing the melee encounters in a certain amount of time can be a little bit difficult as well. Especially when like you can't time the NPC swing and stuff like that. I had trouble trying to do the timing for it. But I think with the difficulties with online and a little bit of single player, I think it's a must play because like I feel like every trophy hunter needs to have GTA 4 on their list. It's iconic. I feel like the difficulties with online and stuff like that is worth it. And like I said, overall, it's generally a really good game as well. And I would highly recommend it. If you can get a decent and good team to do online, I would suggest that. So up next, we have Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Now, this version is back on the PS3. This isn't the definitive edition that I played. And the same thing goes for Vice City. This is a port from I played on PS4. Now, from what I heard, the PS3 version was fairly easier compared to what the definitive edition is on PS4, PS5. Now, unfortunately, I don't think you can get these anymore. Well, actually, you might be able to still get this if you can find a physical copy. Basing it off of the original and the original ports, at least for this, because my opinions on Vice City is a little bit different compared to San Andreas, but if you can get a hold of like a physical copy of PS3 for Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, I would say it's a good choice. I remember playing San Andreas back in the day on the PS2. It's a pretty good game, pretty phenomenal. I would highly recommend it. I'm not sure about the definitive edition. I haven't played those, but I heard it's a little bit more difficult to platinum. And then we come to Vice City. Now, Vice City is also a pretty good game, but there's like 2 trophies that put me off for putting it in good choice. And that is the 2 trophies that resolve the criminal rating, which is, I think it's the Butcher rating and the Godfather rating. Those 2 trophies are brutal, especially if it's like on a save that you got in like the rest of the trophies. And it bases off of like your accuracy and like your money, and the rating bases off of like a whole bunch of different stuff, and like it varies on how much you get and stuff. I remember I had to start a completely new save. I had to do like this wall glitch down at the docks where I got like an ambulance, get on top of the ambulance, and tried to like phase through like a fence or whatever to get to like the other side, get a boat, get a helicopter that could shoot, and like fly somewhere and like nonstop shoot at a destroyed truck for like hours just to increase my rating. And with that fact that I had to do that and like go out of my way and do it, it's gonna bring it down a notch. As to how much, though, it's hard to say. Yeah, I think because of that trophy alone, it bumps it down pretty drastically to manageable. Because that trophy did so much to its reputation for me. It required me to do a bunch of work to even get into the position to start getting that rating. Like, even when I did like get everything set up, like get the helicopter, go to the place, and start shooting at the car and like nonstop shoot it, it didn't take quick to get the rating. I would say it took like a good like a few hours to get it done. And so yeah, with that alone, I think I have to put it in manageable, I think. But yeah, our next game that we got in the list is Job Simulator. Now, I think this is a good game. Like, you can't go wrong with this game. I think I might have to put this in good choice. The reason why I would put Job Simulator as a good experience, well, for one, you need a PlayStation VR. But like for people who have a PlayStation VR, Job Simulator is a pretty good game to play. It's a good experience, it's fun, it's a little bit silly, and the trophy list is fairly simple too. There's hardly anything difficult with it. It's a fairly simple trophy list. Okay, so up next we have, I think I might want to do these both. So this is Lego Harry Potter years 1 through 4, and this is 5 through 7. It's two separate games with two separate trophy lists. You know, it's a Lego game. All Lego games are fairly the same. I think some are a little bit different. I have another Lego game that's actually coming up in the list. Actually, there's a whole bunch of them. There's actually two of them. I just noticed that. But this one in particular is what I was talking about. But I think for Lego Harry Potter, the first time around is good. I played it before back on Steam, and I played it again for the Platinum. For me personally, I would not play it a second time. I was feeling a little bit mind-numbing when it came to the story levels, because it's like, I know what it's like, and it's like, okay, I have to get through these story levels to get to the other stuff, and like, do the cleanup, and and all that stuff. So with that in mind, it was a little bit mind-numbing, but like the first time around, I say it's worth it. But I think overall, I think the two games would go in decent. Like, it's a very short Lego game. Like, the cleanup isn't as bad. Like, I would say the cleanup for Lego Harry Potter was kind of in the middle. With all that said, I think I would put the Lego Harry Potter games in decent. I think first time around, I think it's worthwhile playing. Then the next Lego game we have is Lego DC Supervillains. Ooh, what was this one like again? Let me double check. I don't think this one was bad either. I actually enjoyed this one quite a bit more than Harry Potter, just because of the fact that you can create your own character. Like, you can create your own, like, villain or whatever it is. And, like, you can customize the powers, how they looked and everything. Like, that aspect of it was super cool, and I enjoyed it. This is way better than Lego Harry Potter. I don't know if it's a good choice, but I think I might have to put it above Lego Harry Potter. I would recommend that game more than the Harry Potter games, I would think. And then we get to the last Lego game I've done, which is one of the more challenging and difficult ones to probably do out of all of the Lego games, besides Lego Rock Band, which I was told, which is Lego Worlds. Now, the thing that makes this game difficult and hard to platinum was mainly because of the Billionaire Trophy. That's one of the reasons why. And also, you would need another character for this game. Because there are some trophies regarding you to do something with another character. Or like another player. It's a bit of a grind to get everything. And like you have to find all the legendary bricks. And collect all the gold bricks, all that stuff. But it's mainly the billionaire trophy is what makes it super difficult. And with that in mind, I think I would put it in manageable because there is a way to get to 1 billion studs pretty easily. You need a particular item. I think it's like the safety deposit box or whatever. You set it up so when you place it, a whole bunch of studs get spewed out of the deposit boxes. And you just spam that over and over again to get studs. And it's relatively a decent amount that you get as well. But it will still take quite a bit of a long time. It's not difficult. It's just it will take a long time and it is pretty grindy. And then up next, we have the first Mafia. This is Mafia Definitive Edition. So the first thing I would like to point out for this is the race is pure torture on classic difficulty. The race is just god awful. It took me like 2 streams to get past that blooded race. Other than that, there was some gunfights in classic mode that was a little bit difficult, but nothing compares that stupid race. But the story for Mafia, though, I say it's really good. I don't think it's a must play. I would say it's a good choice, actually. From one Mafia game to the next, I haven't done Mafia 2 yet, which I did buy the game. I am planning to do Mafia 2 at some point, but after that, we have Mafia 3. Now, Mafia 3, I can already tell you, after playing the first Mafia, it is nearly not as good as the first Mafia. Mafia 3, it was just so tedious. It was like, you go to this zone, do a bunch of stuff, then, like, you go and kill the main person that controls that area. Then you control it. Next, you go to the next area, do all this stuff, kill the person that controls that area. It repeats that process, and it gets so tedious after a while. And you have to do 2 playthroughs of the game, because there is 2 trophies where you get like 3 underbosses, and one of the trophies require you to have all the underbosses alive. And then another one has it where you can only have 1 underboss alive. So you have to play the game 2 times. And with that in mind, where would I rank that? It's definitely in one of these 2. But like, was it pretty bad? Where is Pain and Suffering? I think for me personally, I think I have to put it in manageable. Mafia 3 is what made the Pig Mafia what it is now. Like, Mafia 3 was the whole inspiration into how I started liking the whole Mafia aesthetic of stuff. Without Mafia 3, I don't think the whole thing of the Pig Mafia would have existed. So I'm being a little bit nice to Mafia 3. I don't want to shame it too much because it is what it gave me my name. Honestly, I actually kind of enjoyed it playing at the moment, but now looking back at it, it was a little bit tedious, but it was kind of, it was all right. I would say it's manageable for me. For everyone else, I think it would be probably Pain and Suffering, but for me, it was manageable because I kind of did enjoy it, and I did kind of like the Mafia aesthetic of things. So next we have is Minecraft Dungeons. Now this is the first game that actually got me into focusing on trophy hunting and like being more committed to it. Like this was the start. And my experience with Minecraft Dungeons, it was actually pretty decent. I actually enjoyed it. The only thing that was difficult was the final boss. The final boss, I don't know why, but the final boss was pretty challenging. But I think I would still say it is a decent game overall. But that final boss was somewhat challenging. And then up next we have two Minecrafts. We have the PS3 version and the PS4. The reason I have both of these and not like double of the Saints Row games is because Minecraft has like different trophy lists comparing on the version. So with the PS3 version, especially for the Platinum, it's a little bit easier compared to the PS4 version because the PS4 version added a few more trophies for the base game that you have to do for the Platinum. Like you have to play for 100 days and a whole bunch of other stuff with that. So I'm going to be ranking the PS3 version. Now with the PS3 version, I would have to say with someone that likes creativity and likes simulation games, I think it's a good choice. And I'm going to rank the PS4 version into decent because of the little bit difficult aspects of like having to play for 100 in-game days and like some of the other trophies. What were some of the other trophies for Minecraft PS4 version? I think you have to gain a trust of an ocelot, cure a zombie villager. I think those are some of the ones in the base game that you have to do. And I think discovering biomes is what you have to do too for the PS4 version. So yeah, there's a bit more to it in the PS4 version that you have to do, which will have to put it down into decent because it requires you to do a bit more stuff. But for PS3 version is pretty good. It's a good choice. Okay. Now we're getting into a bit of a weird territory. So up next we have is what's the full name of this? Like My Friend Peppa Pig or something like that. It's a bit of a meme. So my two rules, well not rules, but like things I set myself to do is I have to platinum every single game involving Mafia, and I have to play and platinum any game that involves pigs. Like, of any kind. And I recently just found another game that involves pigs that I am going to do eventually when I get to it. And actually, there's two Mafia games as well. Any shovelware that involves those two things, I'm just going to end up doing. I'm not going to do any other kind of shovelware. If shovelware involves pigs or regarding the Mafia, I am going to do those because that is what I set myself up to do. Those are exceptions for shovelware. And regarding My Friend Peppa Pig, this was not worth the full price. I think the full price of this is like $40. I spent like an extra like 20 or something to play it on extra. And like I've seen the experience of one of my friends play it, and playing through it myself, it was just mind-numbing. I have to put it in manageable. I mainly did it for the meme. And for these two, like how would I rank these two? These two are shovelware games. It wasn't Pain and Suffering. I think I have to put these two down the middle as to like decent. Like I don't know what other category I could put them in. They're not good choices by any means. And they weren't suffering. I think I just have to put it in the middle of down the road, just decent. And then up next we have is My Time at Portia. This game will take you quite some time to do. The guide says it will take you 100 hours to do, and I can see why. This game is huge on material gathering. Like, there is so much gathering and, like, crafting you have to do. It is material heavy with how much you have to do. You have to craft various things, certain amount of times to build one part of thing, and then you have to like find materials from like a ruin or a dungeon or whatever for to get that sort of materials, and like you gotta find stuff in another dungeon. And it's like with that stuff alone, it will take some time, and that some of the trophies is like very specific. Like I believe like two trophies involve marrying two specific people. Just be able to get like a certain event with those people when you're like married to them or something. And there is also a missable trophy that I came back and do, and trying to do that, it took a lot of prep in itself. So with that said, I'm not entirely sure where I want to rank this game. I have no idea. This I have to say this game isn't very popular either, I don't think. I mean, how many of you people know of this game, My Time at Portia? Like, there's various other games that's more popular to it that's in that similar genre, like Stardew Valley, you know, I think Terraria can belong in that category as well. Like, who talks about My Time at Portia? And I think with that, because and how long it would usually take you to do, I think I might have to put it in manageable. I think it saying on the guide that it will take 100 hours, I think that's relatively true. Because I could definitely see it taking quite a bit of time to do, like for sure. It's not a short game. And then up next we have is Resident Evil 5. I think for Resident Evil 5, I think I might have to put it in, I think I might have to go in decent. It's decent. Yeah, the story is decent. It's okay. I mean, it wasn't phenomenal. Like I'm pretty sure like there are some other Resident Evil games that's way better than Resident Evil 5. And the trophy list for itself is okay as well. There's some things that might be a little bit difficult. On professional difficulty, there is one mission where it makes it very fucking difficult. And that is it's the level or the chapter where you're on a car and you have to shoot the bikes and the trucks. And even that is difficult in itself. It's when you get to the very end of that chapter where you get into a boss fight with this giant troll. That part on professional difficulty can be challenging. But other than that, professional difficulty is still, if you're not careful, it can be a little bit challenging as well. But I don't think that is enough to put it in manageable. Because if you can play through the game right, and under a certain amount of time you get a very special weapon, which will help tremendously with professional. But other than that, I think I would still put it in decent, despite the stuff with professional difficulty and all that stuff. The rest of the trophies is generally okay. It's kind of simple. There's some stuff that might be a little bit of a grind, but it's not that bad. So up next we have is Remnant from the Ashes. Now with this game, it's a pretty good game to play through. Like, the only thing about that game that makes it pretty challenging is the RNG. There's like a few trophies involving RNG that can be a pain in the ass to do. And there's like some other like trophies as well that involve RNG as well that could potentially be a pain in the ass, and you could repeat and re-roll the particular worlds over and over and over again to get a particular item to spawn to get a trophy. Besides that, there's some things that can be a little bit difficult if you're not set up, like you gotta defeat a boss without taking any damage, which if you make a certain build and like find a relatively easy boss to do that with, which An example for that is the Dragon Boss. That trophy isn't as bad. You just gotta like make a build that would make that trophy easier. I think I would have to put this game in decent. It's not that bad. It's actually a pretty decent game to play through. The 100% though, oh boy, I just want to mention the 100% is a different story. If I'm talking about 100%, I would rank it like much lower. Honestly, the 100% would probably go in pain and suffering, but I'm just, for this in particular, I'm just basing it off of the experience for the platinum. And in that case, I would rank that in decent. And then, next we got, oh boy, next we got is Risk of Rain 2. This fucking game, I have super mixed feelings with this game. What I have to say is, at the very start, when I started doing Risk of Rain 2, I really, really enjoyed the game. It is when I got to doing the 2 trophies involving defeating an elite boss on Monsoon difficulty, which is the hardest difficulty in the game, and completing a prismatic trial. Those 2 trophies brought my experience with Risk of Rain 2 so down. Like, I'm talking probably pain and suffering. Like, I'm not entirely sure. Like, I was not having fun trying to do those 2 trophies for this game. Man, I'm very tempted to put in pain and suffering for Risk of Rain 2. It is ranked on PSN profiles as not a difficult game, I believe. But like, those 2 trophies, I just was struggling. And basically the trials, like, so the thing with the trials is it's completely random. The map is random, the bosses are random, and there's random modifiers you get. So it's like enemies will drop items or something, but like you don't get any more chests, or like every enemy is like an elite, or that sort of stuff. And you got to get very lucky with the map, with the bosses, and what modifiers. And if the trial is very difficult and you can't do it, you have to wait like a certain amount of time before it cycles. And you just gotta hope and pray that you get something easier, or you get something that was more difficult. And even with that, you have to wait again, and again, you would have to wait, and hopefully you get something easier or something harder than previously. And with the defeat the elite boss on Monsoon difficulty, I had to cheese the boss so badly. Like, I had to get like a particular map and like get like a certain spawn location of where the boss would be at, and I had to run to a particular spot in the map and like where I wouldn't get attacked by like the enemies or whatever. And I would have to like attack the boss from range from that point where I was at on the world. The boss couldn't like come over to me or like attack me or anything, because I was at a point and like he couldn't like reach me or anything. So I was just like, I was standing at that spot, and I just kept shooting at the boss, and he couldn't get to me or anything, like, or even the enemies couldn't get to me really. And with my experiences with that, I have to put Risk of Rain 2 in pain and suffering. I enjoyed the game at the very start, but my experience with those 2 trophies just ruined it so much. I think I would not do Risk of Rain 2 again. I don't think I would. That game was just pure awful to me during like the very end there. So then we have next is Rocket League. Now, I'm pretty sure Rocket League is pretty easy to platinum, from what I know. Like, I don't think the majority of it you have to deal with randoms. I think like the majority of the list you could do it with bots and like custom matches and all that stuff with that in mind. And and also Rocket League is kind of a good game to platinum too, but I don't think it's good enough to be considered a good choice. But I think I would put it in decent. It's not that difficult of a game to platinum. So then we have next is Saints Row 3, Saints Row 4, and Saints Row Get Out of Hell. I've done these games twice. So I done Saints Row 3 twice, one on PS3 version and one on PS4. And the same goes for Saints Row 4 and Saints Row Get Out of Hell. I did them on PS3 version and PS4 version. I'm only including them once because the trophy list is the same between the versions. So, but as for my experience with these games, I'm a hardcore Saints Row fan. Like, I generally love the Saints Row franchise. I'm currently going through the Saints Row reboot, which I haven't gotten very far in it, and I'm just saying right now, I can see why it flopped. That's all I'm saying.
Ugh. Brother, ugh. What's that?
The only thing I would say about these games that could be time consuming or a pain in the ass is completing all the challenges. Everything else is plain and simple. But I think with that in mind, I think I might have to put these in decent as well, like all these. Actually, I think for everyone else, I would say you'd probably put this in decent, but I'm like, I really enjoyed the Saints Row. And the fact that I did these twice, like Saints Row 3, I did these 3 games twice on PS3 and PS4. I think I have to put these in good choice. But like I said again, that is my opinion. Like, I feel like the majority of the people would probably put them in decent. But since I really enjoyed the Saints Row franchise, like, I even wanted to do the Saints Row reboot because I was such a fan of the Saints Row franchise. I wanted to see what the reboot was like, and yeah, I'm already seeing that it's not as good as compared to some of these older games. Like, these games were pretty good, but like I still enjoyed playing these games. The fact that I went through and played those games twice and did that stuff again, like I think I have to say, for me personally, the Saints Row 3, Saints Row 4, and Saints Row Get Out of Hell, I would say is a good choice, but that's coming from someone who really enjoys Saints Row. So then up next we have is The Sims 4. Now, this one's a little bit weird because from what I can recall, I did like the majority of the trophies for Sims 4 legit. Like, I didn't like get a character from the gallery and did that stuff. Like, hell, when I did Sims 4, the gallery wasn't even a thing. The gallery came a little bit later for the console for Sims 4. So like, the only thing, or the only trophies I did regarding the gallery was the generations. That I was willing to do. For the generation trophies, I was willing to use the gallery for that because that would have taken so much longer to do, because like you had to go through like multiple Sims and the whole like family tree of generations and stuff like that. And I was like, I don't know if I want to do that. But like, other than that, everything else I did legit with my own Sims because I had to. There was no gallery when I did the other trophies. But other than that, if you were to cheese it, then it would be super easy. But if you did it the way I did, it would have taken probably a long time. And I can recall it did take quite a long time to do it legit. the majority of it. But as for someone that actually, like, I'm pretty sure Sims belongs in that category of, like, simulation, creativity, and, you know, like, building and all that stuff. I love The Sims. So, I think for me personally, I wouldn't say good choice. I would probably say decent. Just because I enjoyed Sims so much that I didn't think trying to do like max level and careers and skills was kind of mind numbing, because I kind of enjoyed the series and like the creativity of it so much that I just didn't care. So up next we have is Slime Rancher. Now, Slime Rancher, I actually enjoyed it. It's a chill and it's a pretty fun game. And I think the trophy list it's kind of fairly simple. The only thing that you have to do to get out of your way and do is the rush mode, which I did fairly recently. And surprisingly, it's kind of very forgiving with how many the points you need. Because I'm pretty sure I was sitting at like 500k points by the time the timer ran out. And I got the trophy and I was like, what trophy? I was surprised. The main reason as to how I was able to get the points I needed for the trophy for rush mode was because of the plort bonus. The plort bonus is what saved my ass at the very end for getting that trophy. If you're fairly decent away from reaching the goal you need to reach for rush mode, I think you will still be able to get it because of the plort bonus. So it's not too difficult, I don't think. But with that in mind, I think Slime Rancher is a good choice. Like, it's a pretty fun game. It's chill. The only thing that you have to go out of your way and do is a rush mode, but it's very, very forgiving, it seems like to me. And after a couple tries and you learn what you have to do, even if you don't get it the first time around, I think like a couple more tries after that, you will get it. Like, the rush mode trophy will not take you that long at all to do. So up next we have is SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for the Bikini Bottom Rehydrated. It's the remastered for Battle of the Bikini Bottom, which released on PS2, which I used to play that game like a decent amount. Like, it's also part of my childhood, along with Destroy All Humans 2. When I saw that they were making a remaster, or yeah, I think it's a remaster, right? It has to be a remaster. When I saw that they were making a remaster of this game, I had to play it. I just had to. It was part of my childhood. I had to play it. Like, I feel like any game that you used to play during childhood, if they release it on like newer consoles or something like that, I feel like it's like it triggers your brain to play it again. And like, even better, like if it has a platinum trophy, like that makes it even better. I have to say, for the trophy list for this game, I don't think it was that bad either. It's fairly simple. The only thing that was difficult, I would have to say, is doing all the ski slopes in the mountain area or whatever. Trying to do those can be a little bit difficult, but it's not that bad. Other than that, everything else is fairly simple. I think this game, a part of it being my childhood, I think it has to go into good choice, because regarding it having to do with my childhood and I used to play it when I was younger, I feel like it has to go in good choice because it was part of my childhood. And the trophy list is fairly simple in itself. You just gotta collect all golden spatulas, all the socks, all the lost socks. And I think there's a bit of other stuff too, but like, it's kind of fairly simple. So for this next game, I have to explain myself with it. So the reason I did this next game was because there was like an exploit or a cheese glitch way for you to get the platinum. And that is when you join someone's world, that had all the stuff needed or done for the trophies, just by joining that world, it would pop those trophies for you. And if they got all the stuff done for the platinum, you would get the platinum as well. Which I took advantage of that, and I want to thank Alan, Alan,
Alan, Alan, Alan, Alan, Alan, Al, Alan, Alan, Alan,
for helping me get the platinum trophy, for Stranded Deep, which is the next game. I have to base it off of what the trophies require you to do, I think, for this ranking. Like, I took the easy way out for this game. For this game, I would have to say... I think I would have to say it's a little bit time-consuming from what I see in the trophy list. Yeah, part of it is a little bit time-consuming. Like, not eating certain things for a certain amount of days, not sleeping on land for a certain amount of days, whole bunch of crafting stuff, surviving for a certain amount of days. I think, for me personally, I'm just gonna put it in decent, because I can't really judge that game because I basically took the easy way to get the platinum for this game. Like, that's all I have to say about it. So the next we have is Terraria. Oh man, this game, I'm at a loss for words for this game. Like, from my experience with Terraria, all I have to say for this game, it is so grindy. For one, you have to get all the different pieces of armor, and some of the armor pieces drop from enemies, which the chances of them dropping sometimes can be like 0.01% or like something ridiculous like that. So you'd be spending hours at a certain biome, like, and like you would just non-stop like killing the same enemies over and over again for hours on end. It's absurd. And on top of that, you have to find all the pets, which is a certain amount of pets. It's not technically all, but it's like there is like a certain pets that contribute to that. Some of the pets in there even like have a ridiculous drop rate as well. So I think for Terraria, I might have to put it, I don't think it's manageable actually. I think I have to put it in Pain and Suffering, because not only with the armor sets and the pets, you also have to smelt like 10,000 like metal bars or whatever, like any kind of metal bars, and you'll spend a lot of time doing that as well. There's just so much grindiness to it with like the pets and the armor set. It will take hours to get this platinum. Hours. So many hours. So yeah, with that in mind, I think I would have to put Terraria in Pain and Suffering. Alright, so up next we have Thief Simulator. And what I have to say for this game is the first half of it was very enjoyable. I actually liked it until I got to the second half. The second half of this game, things got a bit complex. It was getting pretty difficult with like cameras being legit everywhere and like security guards roaming the property and all that stuff. Things just got so much more difficult. And the fact that it was also getting a bit buggy with like me getting the cops for no fucking reason. And I had the game like crash on me like a couple times for no reason as well. With that in mind, I think overall, I think I might have to put it in decent. It's a decent game, I think. There is a bit of a story to it, but it's like, it's a bleh kind of story as well. Another thing with that game is like the mini games are like a little bit weird. Like having to dismantle the jewelry is a little bit wonky, and like dismantling the different cars in the game is also weird and stuff like that. With that, it belongs in decent, I think. Alright, so up next we got is Twisted Metal. The very old Twisted Metal back on the PS1. I used to play Twisted Metal back on the PS1. I sucked at it. I was not good at the game. So I couldn't even get past the first level. But when I saw that this came to the PlayStation Store on PS4 and it had like this rewind feature, and I was like, I think I could do this game and like play through it and like get the trophies because of this rewind feature. If it didn't have that, honestly, I don't think I would have been able to do this game. This game is super difficult without that rewind feature. Like, it is so difficult. Without it, it probably would be like a good, like, probably 8 out of 10 or something like that. I think for this, I don't have that many fond memories of it when I was a kid or as part of my childhood. So, I'm gonna put Twisted Metal to decent, just because it's easy and like with that rewind feature, it makes it easy, and it's part of my childhood, but not as much as like SpongeBob or Destroy All Humans 2. Like, I have so much more memories from that during my childhood compared to Twisted Metal. And it's a fairly decent game. It's kind of short, actually. And yeah, with that in mind, I think I would put that in decent. So up next we got is Unpacking. Unpacking, let me just tell you this. If you haven't heard or played Unpacking, I highly suggest anyone to play it. It's super chill. It's a fun game to play. And the trophy list is fairly simple too. Like, it's fairly simple trophy list. Honestly, I think for me personally, I think it's a must play. It's a really good game. It's chill. It even has somewhat of a story to it as well, if you really think about it. Highly suggest this game. I played this game twice. Both experiences. The first time was I loved it. But like, compared to what I experienced with Lego Harry Potter when I played that the second time, and how I thought playing through it was a little bit mind-numbing, when I played Unpacking twice, I still didn't find it mind-numbing. I still enjoyed it so much. I still enjoyed playing Unpacking both times. And with that in mind, I highly suggest Unpacking. It's such a good game. I highly recommend it. So up next we have is Vacation Simulator. Okay, so for this one, I still enjoyed it, but there's a lot more to it compared to Job Simulator. I still enjoyed playing it, but some of the quests, or what they call memories, can be a little bit challenging. Specifically, the ice sculpting memories. Those ones can be a little bit of a pain to do. And with that in mind, and with like some of the memories being a little bit difficult, I think I might have to put this in decent. I think it's a decent game. I didn't really enjoy it as much, I think, as Job Simulator, but it's still a good game. Okay, so up next is A Way Out. So with A Way Out, this game, just casually playing it, is phenomenal. It's an interesting take on co-op play, where you play with two people, and there is like certain puzzles where you have to work together to solve them and get past them. And it's such a good concept. A similar game that I played before on Steam, but I want to play in Platinum, is It Takes Two. I'm pretty sure it's made by the same people, and it's generally the same thing. But that one also is a pretty good game. And the trophy list for A Way Out is fairly simple. There's some difficult ones, like having to do 20 pull-ups, but like, that one is a little bit tricky to do. But everything else is fairly simple. It's not too difficult, and it's a pretty short game. I think this one's also worthy of a must-play, I believe. It's such a good game. It's fairly short too, and the trophy list is simple. The thing about it is, you don't have to finish the entire game to platinum. Like there is no trophies to like beat the game, or like, see the different endings or whatever it is. But like, you don't have to finish the game to get the platinum. But it's still worth playing towards the very end. Like, I would highly recommend it, finishing the game and getting to the end either way. Like, it's such a good game to just play through it to the end. So then we get to the Watch Dogs franchise. Watch Dogs 1, Watch Dogs 2, and Watch Dogs Legion. To start off with Watch Dogs 1, this Watch Dogs game was phenomenal. Like, the story of it was so good. It's so much better compared to the other ones. Like, if I have to rank the stories, I would put Watch Dogs, the first Watch Dogs games, at the top. I would probably give Watch Dogs Legion the second place, and probably Watch Dogs 2 the third place. Now, Watch Dogs and Watch Dogs 2 has some online trophies that could be a pain in the ass, but like, trying to do the online for Watch Dogs I didn't have that much difficult to do. Trying to do the side stuff can be a little bit of a grind, but like, overall, I still quite enjoyed it. I think the first Watch Dogs is worthy of a must play, I think. Just for the story alone. The story alone makes it super duper good. So then we go from the best Watch Dogs game to the worst one, in my opinion. So Watch Dogs 2, it's the first Watch Dogs game I played and beaten, and I have to say it's okay. It's all right. And I believe there's online stuff to it as well they have to do. And there's like some miscellaneous stuff as well, and some side stuff involving like pictures and like stuff like that. I don't know if it deserves decent. Yeah, actually, I think I'll put in decent. The only thing that's good for it is the gameplay. And like, they improved the gameplay from it so much better compared to Watch Dogs. Watch Dogs gameplay with the hacking and stuff wasn't nearly as good as compared to Watch Dogs 2. I actually enjoyed the hacking far more in Watch Dogs 2 compared to Watch Dogs, I think. I mean, Watch Dogs hacking wasn't too bad, but it took me a minute to get used to it since I played Watch Dogs 2. There was a few things hacking wise that was not in the first Watch Dogs that were in Watch Dogs 2. And I think with like the hacking mechanics and the gameplay alone, I think Watch Dogs 2 deserves decent because of that. And then we get to the last game, Watch Dogs Legion. Now I think for this game, it deserves a good choice. But there was a few things that was kind of a grind. There's a bit of RNG with one of the trophies as well. Like, first of all, there's 2 trophies where you gotta recruit 2 different types of people. One regarding like a royal guard, which is like they're at like the Queen's Palace or whatever. But then you have to find a video game designer. Now that is completely random. Or like you have to cycle through different people's profiles until you eventually find someone that has the occupation video game designer or game designer or whatever it is. There was like a whole bunch of collectible stuff. Thing is, do you have to do or like get all the collectibles in Watch Dogs Legion? I honestly don't know if you do or not. Oh, yeah, okay. There is certain trophies that require like different occupations and stuff, like different abilities for different occupations and stuff like that. Yeah, but there's like a fair bit of stuff that you need collectible stuff for, like collecting audio logs, relics. I don't think you have to collect every single collectible, but you do have to collect a fair bit amount. The only thing is doing like the different trophies regarding the different abilities with like the occupations or like what each operator has. So like there's one revolving like someone needing a paintball gun, someone that can arrest people, someone that can do like a statue pose or whatever. There's various like different abilities you need for different trophies. the story for it was kind of slow at the start. Like, until I got to the very end where it kind of surprised me with how it ended. And with that, it kind of made me like it a little bit. I think I was kind of debating on putting a good choice, but like now I'm thinking about it, I think it belongs in decent as well. Like probably above Watch Dogs 2. So just before I finalize my list here, is there anything I want to change? Maybe I want to move Far Cry New Dawn up to good choice. Maybe. Yeah, I might move Far Cry New Dawn up to good choice. Maybe like towards like the end of good choice probably. Everything else, I think that's it. So yeah, at the very top, this is the games I would highly advise anyone to play and have on their trophy list. Like all trophy hunters should have these games on the top of their list. With that, you guys, that is the end of the video. If you liked the video, press that like button. Let me know what you think in the comments. And as always, I hope you all have an awesome rest of your night or day, depending where you're at. And I will see you all later. Bye, everybody. The Pig Mafia is signing off.